episodic
That's right.
recap. So every week we would recap an episode that we would watch, sometimes for the first time, or most times for the first time in many years, maybe even a couple of decades.
Right.
And then we would talk about it and break it down. And it has been such a wonderful experience.
What's the name of that, sir?
It's called The Real Brady
thank
Bros.
you. Yeah, that's right. So we really got to check it out. It's exciting.
We talk about this on the podcast, which we just finished 2 days ago with the 117th episode that Michael and Susan were good enough to join us on. So there was the four of us, Christopher as well. And what we learned was a real appreciation for the people who watched our show. We know it from the inside and breaking it down and seeing it in pieces, but not always as a completed program. And that has been such a great experience to know what you all have been watching for all these years, and when you see us, what you're seeing, because we know each other slightly differently. And this is such a great time and a great experience for us now to meet you and talk to you and be able to take pictures with you. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for coming through the line, and thanks for giving me a chance to get on the soapbox.
I just want to ask a question for myself. You know, having good parents, I had a really good upbringing, but I was always smitten by your TV parents. I think a lot of us were, that we wanted a mom and dad to never punish us, never to go to timeout or go in punishment. How did you guys interpret them being parents on this set? How did you interpret it? Did you look at them as parents or just castmates? Were they parental?
I looked at Carol as my girlfriend.
Well, I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to go there.
She was pretty hot. I can see that at 9 years old. And how old were you now? Anyway, Susan?
Well, I think it's especially
Turned into
for
her.
the younger ones, as we are. They do take on a maternal and paternal role, but they're your castmates too. But I remember when we got back together to do that fabulous show, The Brady's, which was like the last incarnation of a scripted show for us.
The
It wasn't
Brady's.
very good.
Yeah.
I was very nervous. I had left acting. I didn't want to act anymore. Then got wrangled into this thing, and I'm there on the set, just feeling very, very, very nervous. And I saw Florence and Bob walked in, and instantly, it's like, Mom and Dad are here. I'm fine. I feel better. I'm calm now. What could go wrong when Mom and Dad are here?
Them as roles, as in parental roles, and you got to include Alice, because she always had lessons for us to learn. But they, even at a very young age, even though they did have a role in my life as mentors and an example, they were still really just work associates. It was a job. It was a job.
Yeah,
And Florence Anderson and Robert Reed were two other people that had a job with me, with my job.
Yeah.
So it was a work environment.
So they didn't treat you like a kid or a son on the set. They treated you like a castmate.
And that is something, this is why I teach kids today. It's something I have to pay backward. I had such great grown-ups around me when I was a kid. I want to be that kind of a grown-up to other children. They were wonderful. I remember coming away from Robert Reed, who was discussing cartoons with me, and which ones were his favorites. His favorite cartoon was Crusader Rabbit, and I remember thinking, he talks to me just like he talks to grown-ups about Shakespeare. So they gave us a lot of respect. They expected us to be respectable. And I do find that when you treat kids with respect, you tend to get respect out of them.
How did you guys get kind of brought back into the home and garden program where you guys were remodeling the Brady Bunch house, which is a model set here. Have you seen the Brady Bunch model set is here? You got to check it out. It's a beautiful thing. But how did you guys get part of the home and garden, let's redo the house?
Who else are they going to call?
Good, true.
Yeah.
No, you do that kind of work too.
This is a very exclusive club we're in, Tim.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes. We each had your sledgehammers and knocking down. Maureen McCormick was knocking down a wall.
I brought my own